said, what's wrong with you, Phil? I'm going to take a... No, you need to come here and talk to me. I said, what the hell is wrong with you? He says, where were you all day today? I said, I was in my room. He said, you son of a bitch. He said, you know that guy who kept trying to reach you all day? It was Knight's team manager. And he had 12 clips of all the travels you missed last night.
He put them together and was sending them.
True story.
Hey guys, Alex Rich.
Ben Poremba.
Hey, we are excited to let you know that we have episodes of our podcast, Jews in the Lou, dropping every other week, and you're not going to want to miss. We have some great guests lined up.
Amazing. And while I have you, I want to thank the St. Louis Jewish Light for their incredible partnership and support of our podcast. St. Louis Jewish Light doing amazing work for our community, keeping us informed with stories, with updates.
And visit stljewishlight.org. Subscribe to their newsletter. They'll keep you up to date on everything going on.
Absolutely. Well, see you soon.
No, that's great. Well, you know, Alex, I mean, he was a big baseball guy.
I was a baseball
he
player.
played
at Indiana. I was Kyle Schwarber's backup.
Yeah.
That's my claim to fame.
He's pretty
so
good
I didn't
hitter.
play very much.
He's a pretty good hitter.
I practice a lot, but I didn't.
Well, but you can also tell him who your best friend is. You'll probably remember because we
When
had
did
him
you?
at Maccabi.
Oh, we're rolling, aren't we? Are we good?
Oh, is it? Are we just,
We start rolling.
Oh,
we
okay,
don't.
great.
We don't tell anybody we're rolling. We just roll.
That's fine.
No.
That's fine.
Well, so my best friend still now one of my best friends, Victor Oladipo, played for the Pacers, the Heat, was a player of the year at Indiana. But when was your last game that you reffed?
The last basketball game that I reffed, it was in 2005 at Creighton University.
That was the last game.
That was the last game, yes. And
really?
made a lot of coaches happy.
When
Yeah. I've
they
always
didn't have
said
to deal with you anymore?
Nope.
Oh.
I appreciate you guys
Or
sitting
truth.
down with me. We got Emilie Brockman. She runs Maccabi and all things Maccabi at the J. And we'll talk
Yes.
about that a little bit.
Perfect.
But can I say Hall of Fame referee Ron Zetcher? Unbelievable. Thanks for this is Jews in the Lou. I'm the Jew, you guys are the Jews, and we're in the Lou.
Well, I'm adopted, but I'm Jewish.
Okay. We'll take it.
Yeah, I think my father was.
Are you adopted?
Well, you think I just made that up today?
Well, it could have been a good conversation starter
Well,
for
if
sure.
you want to know about it, I can tell you. But no, I am adopted, but
Okay.
I was adopted by Jewish parents.
Okay.
And I was raised as a Jewish boy. And I tried to be a good Jewish boy, but I failed my parents a lot when I was young.
Okay. Just by what?
Just by my general behavior. I had some real behavior problems when I was a little guy, but I was a very good athlete, so that got me out of a lot of my
It usually
problems.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention, because you're not just some random Emilie Brockman sitting here. This is your father.
I mean, this is my dad.
But it was great because
It's really fun. I want to keep chiming in, but I'm not.
You can.
I know.
No, this is conversation. This is like, we want back and forth. But Emilie and I have known each other now for several years because I've been a Maccabi coach. You brought me on.
Amazing. Like, we wouldn't know what to do without Alex.
Oh, my God. Stop.
No,
Stop.
it's the truth. It's the truth.
We have single-handedly saved Maccabi a couple of times.
I think every year.
Yeah. So that's why this is. I wanted to put a little bit more context behind you. We're just two people that don't know each other sitting here. You guys know each other quite well.
Very well, and I know her 4 sisters too.
How about that? All girls.
All girls.
I have a son.
Do you?
Yeah, he's the oldest, and
Okay.
he lives in California, and then all the girls are here. And all my girls, I got lucky because all my daughters ended up, one of them's not married, but the ones who are married, they all married St. Louis guys, which, gee whiz, they're all here, and then all my grandkids are
Yeah,
here.
that doesn't happen
So,
often.
It's really rare, and I've been very lucky.
So you were adopted. You were raised Jewish. Talk more a little bit. I kind of cut you off. I didn't mean to go.
Well, being adopted, quite frankly, when I was in I think I was in the 4th or 5th grade, and I was at a skating party, a roller skating party, And this kid in my class, he was kind of a little guy, and he thought he was kind of a cool guy. And he skates by me, he says, "You know what? You're adopted." And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I had no clue what it meant or anything. And I looked at him, I said, "Yeah, and?" So?
Right.
So when I got home, I went to my mom and I said, some guys told me I was adopted. And my mom said, "Well, honey, let me explain to you what it is." And in those days, we're going back. I mean, back in the 50s, talking about adoption was not a really big topic. Okay, it was kind of like, we're just not going to talk about it. But my mom sat down and explained to me what being adopted meant, and from that day on, I never gave it a second thought. I never cared about finding my birth parents or anything like that. I had, and Emily, she knows. I mean, I had great parents, and I had a great sister. In fact, my mom was told she could never have kids, and then went to every doctor. Finally, they adopted me, and honestly, 9 months to the day, my sister was born.
How about
Is that unbelievable?
Well, now here, my parents, they had great judgment.
Hell of a night they had.
Yeah, but wait, they must have really had a hell of a night, huh? I got Nat, but I can't even picture my dad. But anyway, Nat. So look, so you can't make it up. So my sister, we lived growing up when I was really little. I was 4.5 years old, and my sister was 9 months younger than me. And my parents said, we can't. I'm sure this is how we can't have them both start school at the same time. They're not twins. What do people say? So my parents literally put me on a bus on Dale and Big Ben Avenue. You should know that. 'Cause
I
that's
know
right
that.
here.
I live right there.
Okay, they put me on a public service bus. And I took the bus down to Drury Elementary School because you could start kindergarten at 4.5 years old.
Okay.
And my sister, she waited another year and started at the right time. Their mistake was she should have started ahead of me. She was a great student. She was very, very mature. She did everything the right way.
Yeah.
But anyway, it turned out well. It was awesome. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
That's an amazing story. I didn't know that at all. And you were so born here, raised here. You've stayed here your whole life.
My whole life, yeah.
And how did you get into refereeing? Was that something you always knew you wanted to do? Did you do something before that, or how did that?
Well, I never thought about refereeing ever when I was playing as an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good athletic career.
Was basketball always your sport?
Baseball. And I just
You
never
could have gone pro.
Still look,
What's that?
guy's
I
in
said you could
great-
have gone pro.
He's in great shape. He's still
Yes,
shape.
he could.
my
still
best,
can.
speaking of baseball, before we go further, because you were talking before about Schwarber
Yep.
and your playing days in Indiana. My one of my best buddies, who I'm still great friends with, who I talk to really, and he's going to come on my podcast. He told me he would, and if you ever want him, I could maybe set it up for you. Art Shamsky,
Okay.
69 Mets world champion.
Yeah.
And let me tell you a story about Shamsky. All these young kids who go to all these lessons and they want to learn this and do and we've got to be on the best.
Right. So much these days.
It's nonsense. Shamsky came to U City. He was a year behind me. So I never got to play with him. When he got to U City, he was kind of small at the time, had no confidence, and never even thought about going out for baseball. Think about that. His senior year, that's the year that I left, he decided to go out. He had grown a little bit. And Dick Greenblatt, who was our coach, he told me, he said, the first day that kid showed up at practice, I didn't know who the hell he was. He said, I watched him in the cage, and I watched him shag fly balls in the outfield. And I said to myself, Dick, don't screw this kid up. This kid's good. And there you are, 1 year of high school baseball, not 1 minute of college baseball.
That's unbelievable.
Big leagues. And he was good buddies. He started with Cincinnati. Him and Pete Rose were very good friends.
Is that right?
And they were both single at the time, and there were some very
I can imagine.
bad, a lot of things that we can't talk about on this podcast.
We can. We're not like
Well, you know what?
FCC doesn't regulate us.
Well, Pete Rose, I met him a few times because he would come to St. Louis with Shamsky, and he was a great player, and everything else about him was not so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a kind of an ignorant.
Right. Well, I mean,
but 4,200 hits.
You can't teach that.
It'll never happen.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So are you a believer that this is kind of crazy off subject, but are you a believer that he should be a Hall of Fame guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds should be, and have an asterisk. Just something next to their name. They were Hall of Fame inductees, and they played during the steroid era.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean,
I think
Barry
especially
Bonds,
the Pete Rose thing. I mean, it's like, so he bet on the game. All right. Well, yeah, that's not something to be proud of, but he wasn't, betting on himself to strike out. He was more hits, like you said, the only person with more than 4,000 hits.
Well, nobody will ever have 4,000 hits. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
And the fact that he wasn't a good guy, or, Ty Cobb was a racist. He's considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eno Slaughter, and I followed the Cardinals a lot when I was a kid, and Eno Slaughter, he was the worst of racists. He was a right fielder for the Cardinals, and he played with Musial. He played with Shandy's. That team, in 1946, they had three Hall of Fame players on that baseball team, and they beat the Red Sox in the World Series.
Yeah.
And Slaughter, it took him years to get in the Hall of Fame because he was a racist.
Well, you're on that team with like two, Stan the Man you've never heard a bad thing about.
Or
Shandy's. Yeah. Unbelievable. So baseball was like your first love.
Yeah. And I mean, I love basketball. I mean, growing up in U City, it was a whole different, and I try to tell my daughters this, we've talked about it, growing up in U City in the 50s, I mean, all we did is we played basketball in somebody's backyard. We went down to Heman Park and we played Indian ball, and we went behind Jackson Park and played Clark ball. Can I tell you a quick story about Clark ball?
Come on, that's what we got for unlimited time.
Hey, this is the best. So anyway, we used to play Clark ball behind Jackson Park, and we'd get a tennis ball and we'd shave it down, And so when you threw it, you could do all kind of stuff with it. So this little kid on his bike, he'd come up every day. Go home. You're not playing with us. I want to play. Go home. Finally, we said, you know what? Let's let this little guy play.
Yeah.
So we asked him, he gets off his bike. We asked him, what do you do? He said, I'm a pitcher. Oh, okay. Here's the ball going out there. Shamsky is playing in this Clark ball game with us. This kid throws Shamsky a 12-6. It goes from his nose to his toes. Shamsky misses it by that much, and he throws him another one. It was Kenny Holtzman.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Another big leaguer.
Yeah. Kenny.
That's awesome.
And Shamsky and Sandy Pomerantz, three Jewish guys, and undoubtedly three of the very best athletes that ever went through the halls of U City High School. No question about it.
Yeah. That's cool. So growing up in U City, at that time, it was a very Jewish population.
Oh my gosh, yes. It was almost, to me, it was almost all Jewish. And when I was at Hanley Junior High School, we were starting to go to all the bar mitzvahs. There was a different bar mitzvah every week.
Right.
And then we had one guy who was our captain on our basketball team, Joe Garvey, and he was the only non-Jewish guy. And he was invited to every one of the bar mitzvahs.
I love it.
Yeah, and all the Jewish kids loved him, and all the girls really loved him. He was just a cute little guy, with blue eyes, and a crew cut. So he was invited to all of them. So one of the Saturdays, Rabbi Grolman was a rabbi over at UH.
Yeah.
He comes up to Garvey. I was with him. He says, "Hey," I see you here every week. He says, "You're not Jewish." Garvey says, "No, I'm Catholic." He says, "Well, if you want to be, I can take care of it. If you want to become a Jewish boy, I got all the ways to do it. And Garvey said, I'm very happy being a Catholic boy. And it was awesome. Yeah.
That's what it was. And because I talk to a lot of people about, like, you know, people come on here where a lot of the time they didn't necessarily grow up around a big Jewish population. And a lot of the people I talk to are the first Jewish person that a lot of people have met. And I've been in that situation before as well, where I went to college and, you know, there were several people where I was like the first.
Even after college.
Even after. It's like unbelievable the amount of people that, you know, have never met a Jewish person, or maybe they just didn't know, or it's not something they thought about. But, you know, you're coming with a kind of an opposite take on it, where you grew up where it was pretty much the opposite.
Well, it was so Jewish that the Jewish girls in U City who were of dating age, their parents didn't want them dating these guys who are not Jewish.
Really?
Oh yeah. So anyway, I had a girlfriend all through high school, and she was a twin. And my grandma lived with us. My grandfather passed away young, and my grandma, she came back to live with my mom. That was her mother. And she asked my mom, she says, honey, she was young then, my grandma. I don't think she was 50 years old when my grandpa passed away. She said, can I stay with you just for a while till I get myself, you know, settled? And my mom said, of course. 25 years later, she was still getting herself settled. You know? You know? And she was awesome. So anyway, she found out I had this girlfriend. You know, her name was Sally Hopkins.
Okay.
She was a twin. So my grandma, she came up to me one day. She says, honey, are you dating the Shiksa girl? I said, Grandma, she's not Jewish. You know, you don't call, you know, that's not a good word.
Right.
She says, she's a nice girl. I said, she's very nice. Okay, you won't marry her. I'm not going to marry her. It was, but I mean, really, I mean, I had friends of mine who, girls that I knew who really, you know, at the time, you know, in high school, you're dating a guy, and they really had a very, very difficult time with their parents trying to deal with that relationship.
Really?
And a guy, I won't mention his name, a guy I know, he passed away not long ago, but he was really in love with this girl, and they had an unbelievable relationship. And I think it was either his senior year, his father, and I knew his father well. He was a good man, but his father told him, "You better knock it off, or you're not going to be a part of this family."
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Unless they were with a Jewish person.
Yeah, you're not. You are not.
I mean, I had friends growing up.
Same way.
Yeah, same way. There was a few like I have to marry.
And you never felt
Jewish.
like that, though.
I never felt like that.
No,
I really never felt like that. No.
And I guess I would be the same way. Right.
You know, it's like, what do you do? So being Jewish is the only. They're like, I can't find somebody Jewish. I can't find some. You know, wouldn't you rather find somebody that you're happy with?
Right.
Versus then just keep trying to find. Yeah. But it's real.
I wonder, you know, do you feel like, well, you're around the J a lot and the community. Do you feel like you see that holding back a lot of like older people that are single and that they've just haven't been able to find somebody because they're strictly set on finding a Jewish person?
There are some.
Yeah.
There are some that are like, can you find, you know, do you know anybody Jewish?
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody Jewish, and which is wonderful. But then there's others that are like, if I don't find somebody Jewish, will I be judged?
But you have Jewish children.
I have Jewish children.
We got one sitting here. We got to give Leo a shout out. Yes. Are you kidding me?
Hi, Leo.
He's the best.
He is the best.
He's the best.
He is the best.
But as long as it's like, I think for me, it's like, you know, I'd like my children to be raised Jewish and more just, I think because first of all, there's very few of us, and it's a cultural experience that you can't, we talk about this a lot, you can't really explain it unless you're part of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And you also want to celebrate the other traditions too. So Annie's traditions. I mean, even if your kids are Jewish, that's how she was raised.
Well, and I think that we talk about it a lot. You see, you know, the reality is you see that a lot in like you're going to experience Christmas in the grand scheme of the world.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. So, you're not missing out on those things. But was that something for you? Like it clearly, it doesn't seem like you were pushing that upon your 4 girls.
Right.
Also, what the hell was that like raising 4 girls?
Right. No, 5.
5.
5 girls?
I'm number
You're
4,
one of
but
four. You're one of 5.
I'm one of 5.
Well, I joke around, and this is a joke now, so I don't want anybody to take it serious.
Nobody gets offended.
She
here.
edits, so we'll.
It depends what the edit needs to be.
Here's the deal. So people say to me a lot, like you just did. They said, "So what was it like with all the girls in that house?" And I say, "Well, except for the oldest girl in the house, everything was great." Do we know who the oldest girl is?
I think
Did you catch on to that
I think it's
one?
mom, probably,
That's right.
Yeah, but anyway, I get along with her now, so it was a joke.
Right.
But it was a lot of girls.
There was a lot of girls, and then
there
a lot
was
of visitors, a lot of girl
Oh,
visitors.
I mean,
I've
it's
been in and out
everywhere.
nonstop.
Nonstop.
But
And what are the age
Nonstop.
gaps?
Well, my oldest daughter, who she'll turn 60 this December, and my youngest daughter is 46, so that's a big
It's
age
about
gap.
14. Yeah.
And you're in the middle?
I'm
No,
number 4.
she's number 4, but I never ever. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I never really got into, is the guy Jewish you're going out with, or who?
Right.
As long as they were good to him and you enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a firm believer, that they're good. If they ever put a hand on you, then you just never give them a second chance.
Right.
That's
right.
it. I mean, it's kind of simple.
Right.
And I never had a problem. My daughter, Jennifer Whitner, she dated a couple guys that I was really crazy about. really. She's married now, but I'm not going to talk about him. But no, these 2 guys were awesome, and one of them, he was a Spielberg.
We're off.
I tell you a story about this guy. What he did to me. Remember the Spielberg boy that she dated?
This is Is this appropriate?
Yes, this is very appropriate.
You never know what's going to come out of his
That's
mouth.
not for
Well, they
me
can
to
edit.
decide.
They can edit. No, but this Spielberg. Andy Spielberg. Okay, so she was dating him, and I was refereeing in the Big 8 tournament at Kemper Arena. So she calls me. My daughter Jennifer calls me. She's a student at Missouri. She said, "Dad, do you think you can get us tickets? For the."
We're always asking for
Big 8
tickets.
tournament.
Always.
So I said, yeah. I said, I'm sure I can get you some tickets. So I got him 2 tickets. Well, they came down with 3 people.
Of course.
So her boyfriend, Andy, he's the one without a ticket. Somehow or another, Jennifer and whoever the other person was got the 2 tickets. So she runs, Andy, and I've got the second game. It's on a Saturday. It's early. So I go into the officials' locker room, and a guy named Terry Turlington, he was a referee. Well, he had refereed the day before, and he wasn't going to referee anymore, so he left his pass there. So I got his pass, and I got a hold of Andy. And I said, now, look, don't come into this arena, okay? Don't you come in looking like some kind of a college kid, I mean, it was real warm then. So to make a long story short, he gets his pass and he sticks it around his neck and he comes into the arena and he's in shorts. Bingo. Boom. So now Jennifer runs to me. They got the police have Andy outside the arena. And she's crying and just go. And I said, well, what? I've got a game in an hour and a half. So this guy, Sergeant Moss, he's a cop who took care of the referees every year, and he was a super guy. I said, hey, Sarge, I need some help. So we went outside. I goes, I've got a referee. Go outside to Kemper Arena, and we're walking around, and he's calling all his buddies, all his police. Hey, you got a kid around here? They had apprehended him in shorts. Yeah, he's down here on 14th Street. So we walked down there, and I wanted to pop that Andy. So anyway, he says, I'll take care of Andy. Sergeant Moss. So Andy comes with us. And then Moss, you can't make this up. He gets on his walkie-talkie. He says, hey, anybody out there got any scalper tickets? And this guy says, yeah, I got 4 of them down there. One of the policemen says, well, I need one of them up here. And he gives it to Andy. And that's how Andy got into the arena. So when I see Andy, and I see him a lot,
hilarious.
I bring this up to him before I say a word. He says, Coach, you're going to talk about that Kemper Arena.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's hysterical. And that kind of brings me to like, I want to know more about the refereeing career. I do. I want to know kind of the start of it and how you got into it, and like, how do you get to the level of referee that you became?
I got lucky. You have to perform, but I got very lucky. I was doing some baseball. Okay, I was umpiring baseball, and I had to go down to a sporting goods store. You've heard of Johnny Mac's?
Of course.
Well, he's passed away since, but Johnny Mac, I went down there on a cold winter night. I was going to buy a mask and a chest protector and all the stuff that the umpires need. And while I was there, he said, hey, you ever referee a basketball game? I said, no. He said, why? You want to referee a game tonight? I said, I was kind of cocky, young. Yeah. I said, yeah, hell yes, He says, he gave me a shirt, and he gave me a whistle, and I had on some khakis and some tennis shoes, and it was a Baptist church men's league, and you know what those men's leagues, I didn't know what the men's leagues were
they
like.
They take them serious as can
they're
be.
Nuts. So, and my mom was very sick at the time. She was at Jewish hospital. And the Baptist Church League, it was right by Jewish Hospital. I figured, you know what? I can go down there, I'll referee this game, and I can go over and visit my mother. Simple. And I knew nothing. So I go down there, and these Baptist church, these are men, in their 30s and 40s, and they're doing a big prayer before the game, and doing all the prayer,
right.
Praying and blah, blah, blah. And then the game starts. The game starts, and they call me everything under the sun. No good, this, what, and whatever. But you know what? There was something wrong with me.
Sure.
I liked it. I kind of enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah. It was like a challenge. So I kept going back there every week to the Baptist church. And then I really got into liking it. And because I had been a high school athlete, a lot of the athletic directors in Parkway and Pattonville and Rittner, I remember those for sure. Those guys, those athletes, they hired me, freshman, sophomore, JV, and so forth and so on. And a guy named Marv Andrew, a Jewish guy, Marv was an average high school referee, but he took me under his wing, and he took me to some varsity games way out in Sullivan and Union, and that's how I had to do that. And eventually I got hired in the Suburban League. I got 6 games. And I thought that I was going to the NCAA finals. You know what I mean? And then I got hired in the Normandy Christmas tournament, which not many people today understand. That tournament, the greatest basketball players who ever came out of St. Louis, they were in that tournament. 32 teams, 16 in the green division, 16 in the red division. And there were 16 green lights and 16 red lights. And every time a team lost, that light went off. Okay. And finally, I got hired to referee in that league. And then I was refereeing with Gene Barth, who was an NFL official, Rich Hantek, an NFL official, Dave Phillips, a major league umpire. Mm-hmm. And I'm there. I'm like, whoa. And from there, I just got lucky. I ended up refereeing the 3 large school state championship games in a row. So the first year, all the referees, oh my God, they called me. Ron, it's the greatest. God, you're going to Columbia. Yeah. The second year, about half of them called. The third year, they all called Columbia. Why the hell is this guy going down there every year? But it was a great experience. And Jack Miles was the head of the Missouri High School Activities Association. And he was very, very good friends with a guy by the name of Bernie Sagaw. Bernie had the same job in Iowa. But Bernie also was the supervisor of Big 8 officials. That was a part-time job. That's how I got hired. Jack Miles called Bernie. Hey, it's good. Mm-hmm. So I got hired in the Big 8. And I thought I was kind of a big deal.
That is, I mean, that's a big deal.
Well, yeah,
the
but
Big
I thought
Eight turned into what? The Big
But then
12.
it went to
yeah,
the Big
yes.
12.
But when I got in the Big 8, I thought I was, oh man, I just worked the state finals 3 years in a row. Well, when I got in the Big 8 and I went out on the floor with Herb Brown, one of the best referees of all time, and Jim Bain, and I could go on and on with the guys who were on that staff. I was overmatched, man. I was awful. I was terrible. So at the end of 2 years, I got a letter from Bernie Sagaw. And Bernie basically, he was a super guy. He's still living. I think Bernie's probably in his late 90s. He sent me a letter. It was like, Ron, every major league team has 25 players on their roster. And at the end of every year, what they do is they eliminate some players on the roster and they add some players on the roster. This is how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to eliminate you from our roster. You're not going to referee in the Big 8 next year. And he gave me all the reasons why he thought I had not been up to task. So that summer, and I took my family to San Diego, and I was a mess. You all of a sudden, like boom. So while we were gone, Johnny Overby, who I refereed with those 2 years, Johnny Overby got hired as the supervisor in the Missouri Valley Conference. I didn't know that. And we were gone for like 2 or 3 weeks. I got home and I went to get all my mail, and the mail's
No phones, no mail, nothing.
You're right.
And the mail's piled up to here. And all of a sudden, I pull out a thing from the Missouri Valley Conference, and it's from Johnny Overby. We want to hire you. I want you to be I called him, and he said to me, there's 2 things that caused you a problem in the Big 8. Number 1, if you have a call and a veteran comes to you and wants to change it and you know you're right, you tell him to get the hell away.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, if the coaches act up, you need to take care of the coaches. You cannot let coaches embarrass you or anything else. Take care of those 2 things. You can referee for me forever. If you don't take care of them, the first time I see it, you'll be gone. Pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I got my break. And then about a year or 2 later, Johnny Overby got hired to also take the Big 8. So I became a Big 8 official again. So there's a lot of luck involved.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was just in the right place at the right time. And I had a guy like Johnny Overby who, him and Dave Phillips, they made my career.
Yeah.
They really did.
What do you think set you apart that, there's a lot of people that do that want to do that job. Like, I would say the same thing goes for like big league umpires. Once you make it to that level, it's next level. What are the things that set you apart? Being able to get that mutual respect from the coaches. Talk about that.
I was a pretty good referee. On that level, everybody's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
A block and a charge and goaltending. If you can't make that call or you're not consistent, then you probably shouldn't be there.
Sure.
Okay. But I think the really good referees, and I tried to pattern myself after a few guys that I really respect the players, respect the coaches, but make sure they respect you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get that done and you can communicate, I got along very well with Coach Knight at Indiana.
Oh, sure.
And I got along very well with him. And I should have brought the scrapbook that my son-in-law had made for me. But Bobby Knight, at the end of my career, my son-in-law, he had all these coaches. I didn't know it. They sent all these beautiful testaments in, and he made this scrapbook for me. And Bobby Knight said, I loved you refereeing for Indiana because you never thought you were bigger than the game.
How about that?
Awesome.
That's
Amazing.
unbelievable.
Amazing.
From Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
He was the best.
It's I hear stories I've heard stories about Bobby Knight. My dad actually took his class in college, was the coaching of basketball at IU, and said if he respected you, he was one of the best guys you'd ever interact with.
Absolutely. And he was a misunderstood guy. And I'll tell you a cute story. You want a good story about him? Cute?
I always love a Bobby Knight
All right,
story.
well,
you weren't
this-
reffing the game that he threw the chair, were you?
No, and it was that was so overplayed too.
Yeah.
He kind of slung it, and
Right, he was
and
giving the lady across the way somewhere to sit.
People sitting there, and he slung it.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to hit anybody.
Right.
But they made it because it was Bobby Knight.
Sure.
But I had a game there before I knew him well.
At Indiana.
Well, it was in Indianapolis.
Okay.
It was Knight had he had a 4-team tournament every year.
Mm-hmm. They still do it.
Either on the campus
Yeah.
or in Indianapolis. They switched him back and
Yeah.
forth. He never lost a game in that tournament because he would bring his old coaches, let them bring their teams. They're making a little money. You know how that works.
Sure.
And so anyway, he's playing TCU. This is in Indianapolis, and I don't know him that well. And he's beaten TCU by, I don't know, 40 points. The game's over. And that's when he's the most dangerous because he doesn't have to coach anymore. So he starts on me. And he really is he probably knows traveling as well as any referee. He really understands it, and he really spots it when. So he starts on me. He's traveling, and I'm going, oh my God, what's wrong with this guy? He's winning by 40 points. So he's not letting up. So finally, I made the big mistake of saying, he's not traveling, coach. He goes, oh, what do I know about basketball? Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Zetcher. So anyway, the game ends. And the next morning, because we're there for 2 games, the phone rings in the room. I'm rooming with a guy named Ron Grissom. And he says, there's a guy on the phone named whatever. I said, I don't know. I have no idea who that guy is. Goodbye. So this guy calls 3 or 4 times, and Grissom tells him the same thing. Ron's not here. Ron's not here, blah, blah, blah. So we go work the first game. The game's over. And we're coming into the locker room, and the second crew ready to work second game, the last game. Phil Bova, he was a big-time referee in the Big Ten. He sees me, and he says, come here. I got to talk to you. I said, what's wrong with you, Phil? I'm going to take a – no, you need to come here and talk to me. I said, what the hell is wrong with you? He says, where were you all day today? I said, I was in my room. He said, you son of a bitch. He said, you know that guy who kept trying to reach you all day? It was Knight's team manager, and he had 12 clips of all the travels you missed last night.
He put them together and was sending them.
True story.
That's
isn't that
hysterical.
awesome.
That's like the most Bobby Knight, like F you, like
amazing.
don't question me type thing ever.
Oh, no, I mean, listen, but he was right. He knew, and later on, I was I worked at camp at Indiana, and I brought a bunch of referees there because I was supervising a conference, and he was talking to me about traveling, and not to bring what happened years before. He said, we're referees, why they miss it, and it made so much sense. He says they watch a guy receiving the pass, they watch him catch it.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's going to catch it. Watch his feet. Because the minute he catches his feet will tell you if he's going to travel or not.
Mm-hmm.
And he also had another thing that was a tremendous thing that he talked about to our referees at this camp. It was called the walk-away. He said to all these referees, have you guys ever heard of a walk-away? And I'm their supervisor. I'm going, no, what the hell's a walk-away, Bob? I'll tell you what a walk-away is. When you and I have a problem, you usually come over to my bench area.
Sure.
Because I'm not going to come out in the middle of the floor with you. And you and I are having an issue. And when you see that issue is going south, Ron, you walk away. And you walk back to where you belong. But if I follow you out there, you better have the balls to tee me. Pretty good information. All those young referees in there, I said, hey, you guys, you just heard something. Hey, make sure I'm going to be watching you.
Right.
But he was so smart.
Yeah. Gosh. I mean, I can't imagine the stories that you must have. And they're
endless.
And you, during this time, like, do you remember these things? Like, Were you at an age where you remember or thought like, my dad does something that is, it's cool. Like, call it what it is. It's cool.
No, super cool. You also, coached Ladue football for years.
Let me tell one quick story about her.
Yeah.
She was a little blonde-haired gal, right? And wait a minute, when she was, and so at the time, this is unbelievable because Ed Hightower is going to come on my show in a little while, but Hightower called me a couple weeks ago and he brought this up. He says, remember when we went, TWA used to have fly and you can bring one child free. So she is with me and another one of my daughters.
He would bring us to all the games.
I had two of them with me and we're flying. I think we were going to Wichita. And so Hightower says, I'll take her. And then, you won't have a problem. I'll take her on with me. So she goes on the airplane as Hightower's daughter. Okay? So anyway, we get there and they were young and they were wild. They were bored. So anyway, we went out to eat afterwards and his wife's name is Barb. And he brought this story up to me. I had forgotten about it. He says, remember, when Emily was my daughter, and we were out to dinner afterwards, and Emily and the other one, who was it? Jennifer? Was it Jennifer the other one? I remember two of my daughters, but I don't remember her because remember they were running around there and they were underneath the table and running back and forth in that restaurant and doing all that stuff. And I said to Barb, I'm not taking any of my girls on any of these trips. Not with those Zetcher girls.
You were causing trouble.
You took us to so many. And even later, even when I lived out of state and you would come, when I went to school at KU, come up, when I went to orientation, remember? Who was the first guy you brought me to? He's like, I need to make a pit stop real quick on campus.
Yeah, and I went into. I think your younger sister came with me, and you were in orientation.
Yeah.
Who was it? Roy Williams, the coach there at the time?
Yeah, he was not my favorite.
But he walked in. He said, "This is Roy Williams."
Yeah. Yeah.
He would get us.
I'll tell you about Roy Williams. I shouldn't say he's not. At KU, my favorite coaches. I refereed for 4 of them. Ted Owens, who's really he was the first one, and he didn't have the success that all these other coaches had, but he was, and all these other coaches, they adored him. He's still living. He's late 90s. Then Larry Brown was the first coach after Ted Owens, and Larry Brown, in my opinion, he's a Jewish boy too, no doubt, he's the best coach, best on every level. He won an NCAA championship.
Mm-hmm.
He won an ABA championship. He won an NBA championship.
Mm-hmm.
And he played on an Olympic champion.
Wow.
52 Olympic championship. But he was a hard guy, hard to get along with. My oldest daughter, Stephanie, knew his daughter well. And Larry, when I first started refereeing for him, he thought, he said publicly I was the greatest referee in the Big 8 and this and what and how and whatever. And, like a good marriage, all of a sudden the good marriage goes south.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, I was the worst referee.
You're the worst ever.
But he was a great referee.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bill Self's there right now. And Bill's just he's the salt of the earth. I really, really like him. And Bill, I refereed for Bill when he played.
Is that right?
When he was a player at Oklahoma State. Yeah. And then Roy Williams, he was a great coach. Here's where I lost my great, I shouldn't use respect, that's not fair, but when he's decided to go to North Carolina and then 2 days later decided, you know what, I love my KU kids, I can't go, and he came back. I don't know if you remember.
I don't know. I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah,
that.
and he came back. And then about 3 or 4 years later, he went to North Carolina, and I told everybody, I said, well, I guess he didn't love those kids as much. Man, when you speak, hey, just say I came back. Don't give me that. I love.
Right.
But a great coach.
Yeah.
Self is a funny person. Very, very funny man.
Funny.
When I was supervising the MIAA, so every late in the year, in the years that I was there, they decided to start having a doubleheader. The Central Missouri would play like Rockhurst or somebody, and then that night, KU would play whoever. So my boss, he said, you have to go to that. Because I didn't like to go to all those games, and observe them.
Sure.
Ron, you have to go. I said, okay, I'll go. I'll keep my job. So I get there, and I got there really early. The first game was going to be like at 6 o'clock, and I got there like at 4 o'clock. And KU is practicing, on one end of the floor. Right. And I see Self down there. So I got to go down there. I got to mess with him. So I walk down there, and he's standing there. He's got his bat, and he turns around. He says, what the hell are you doing here? I said, here's the bad news. One of the referees who's supposed to referee tonight got sick. They just called me. I said, I haven't been on the floor for a while, but I'll be able to get by. He said, you're so... He started laughing and this and that. And they were playing, I think they were playing Texas because Rick Barnes was the coach on the other end.
Right.
But, yeah.
He remembers everything.
I was just gonna. That was kind of where I was gonna go with this. It's like the stories that you have in the memory. Like, sure, there's certain things that obviously stick out about the others, but I feel like there's not really. It almost seems like all of the stories are like equally as cool and important to you, where you remember them all. But like I guess how is it? Have they impacted you that much? Like where you take pieces away from all of these different coaches that you meet, or what is it that makes
or how he is as a spectator.
Yeah. I mean,
to his grandchildren.
Well, it translates.
It's hard.
And that's a
when
whole
you
other
know
thing
so
is
much.
like,
yeah.
How do you kind of stay calm when you're watching that? But how do you remember, like, what is it about all these?
From the time I was 6 years old when the Cardinals won the World Series. Okay, 1946. I remember all those players. I remember their numbers. Like Musial was number 6, and Marty Marion, as shortstop, was number 4, and Shandy's number 2 at second base, and Slaughter number 9 in right field.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a savant.
A savant. That's trouble.
I was never. I was never diagnosed. They didn't have that.
But it is unbelievable.
See, when I went to Jackson Park, I had a lot of problems in the grade school.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I would have probably gotten some help.
Yeah. Well, you did all right, though. I mean,
absolutely. And you practiced. You said you went once a week. When you would literally go once a week to the park to practice.
To
they
practice.
didn't have baseball.
Honestly, I had a basket in my backyard. I was out there all the time.
Yeah.
From the time my dad
loved the game.
I just love sports. You know what I mean? I just love playing games. I love competition. Baseball, like I said, we played corkball.
Mm-hmm.
We'd get 8 or 9 guys. We'd go down to Heman Park. I'd throw. He'd hit. If you hit 3, you got to stay in there. If you hit 4, you could. As soon as you missed, you went to the outfield, and somebody else came in and hit.
Yeah.
And you got better. You get better that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In other words, if you want to stay, when we played 2-on-2 basketball in guys' backyards, those games were brutal because if you lost,
you're out.
You had to sit out,
Yeah.
and the next 2 guys got to play. So the last, when you play up to 10, to get that 10th basket, you're going to have a guy whacking.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
but you didn't have any like lessons or
never
anything. Nothing. They just played.
Lessons.
Times were different. They were.
I pitched my whole life. Nobody ever taught me how to throw a baseball. Nobody taught me how to wind up, how to pitch off the stretch, how to pick a player off of. I taught myself.
Yeah.
I watched games. I watched Cardinal games. I'd say, that's the way,
Yeah.
We all used to, Musial had a real funny stand the man, how he had coil.
Of
when
course.
we were little, we always,
That's how you thought you were supposed to
say. You coil, and then you really, only Stan can hit that way.
So what's it been like? Like you were surrounded by sports your whole life, like you said. Now watching from like the grandparent perspective.
Okay, I'm gonna tell on myself. I was a coach, so I had total control over my freshman football team. I could tell them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. 30 years. When I played, I had total control when I was on the mound, right? When I refereed, I really had control. I had total control over the basketball game.
Total control.
Total control. So now you go watch your grandson, and you're not real happy with the way he's playing, or you're not really happy with the officiating.
Right.
And you embarrass yourself. And I embarrassed myself many times.
Did you?
Well, I was a horrible spectator. My daughter.
Is that true?
Yeah. Wait, it was. But, it was unbelievable.
Do you know Andy Brown?
I don't know.
Basketball was the worst.
Yeah. Well,
but now when he watches Leo play hockey, he's like, that's not my first
I don't
sport.
know anything.
So he's like, this is perfect.
Yeah,
I can just
honestly, I guess
I can just enjoy and watch
I don't
it.
know what an offsides is or icing the puck.
Right.
So my oldest grandson was a very, very good athlete at Clayton High School. He was a catcher and he was a quarterback. He started for 4 years on the varsity from the freshman year. So anyway, they're in a big baseball game at Shaw Park. It's a district game against John Burroughs. And my grandson, he was a very good catcher. He thought he could hit, but he really was not a very good hitter. So the first inning, this is a big game. It's a district final. He takes a third strike with runners on second and third, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, oh, man. So about 2 or 3 innings later, he's hitting again, and it's kind of like a half swing. And I don't think it's really not.
Right,
I got a good look at it, and the umpire calls him out, strike 3. So I watched the whole play. He walks away. He doesn't look at the umpire. He walks away, and I don't know, maybe under his breath he says something, and the umpire ejects him. So I go, oh, no. So I get on that umpire something. The place is packed. Burroughs.
Were you there?
Oh, my gosh.
Place is
We have
packed.
seen, I will tell you endless stories.
But this place is packed. So I go off on this umpire, and he knew me. Zetcher, get out of here. Now my grandson and his grandfather are ejected. We're both, wait, it's not over. Oh, I got more. So all of a sudden, I'm still giving this guy a piece of my mind, but I'm kind of walking away, and it's like a bird landed on my shoulder, and it's the other grandpa who's the quietest, sweetest.
From the other side.
Mel Brown. That's
No,
Jake's
his
other
other
grandfather.
grandfather.
That's his dad's. And he goes off on this umpire, and he gets ejected. Both grandpas, and the grandson. It's all 3.
No way.
Yeah, and we have to leave Shaw Park and go up on the parking lot. Wait, here's a kicker.
Unbelievable.
Clayton wins the game.
Unbelievable.
They won the game.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
That's got to be the first time in history
That's a Ripley's.
Yeah, that really is a Ripley's, believe it or not. That is a Guinness Book of World Records.
He has more stories, Alex. I mean, they're endless.
I can't imagine.
Endless.
And her sister and her brother-in-law, they were hiding.
I'm sure they're like,
they were like
psychopaths.
running out of who are these nutcases?
We have stories.
Is there, because you could go on all day.
Yeah.
Is there like a favorite story that you have growing up? Well, because now, I want to take a step back because we got to plug Maccabi a little bit here. Just
Absolutely.
We have to. We got. Yeah.
3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. So, like, you're now in charge of all these kids, like, being a part of the Jewish community through sports. How important is that to you, like, looking at the perspective of, like, your life memories were, as a child, a lot revolving around sports?
Absolutely. So we were never pressured growing up to be in sports, to do sports. I don't know if that was intentional or just, I'm not going to hyper focus on sports with my kids. So it is. So when I got into Maccabi, it is amazing, but everybody thinks I am like this really amazing athlete. And I'm not. But I love Maccabi. I love it.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do it without coaches like you.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. That volunteer endless hours to make this program what it is. So thank you, Alex.
Well, it's awesome. And I think Maccabi did a lot for me as an athlete myself growing up. So I'm glad to still be a part of it, but it's cool that like we're able to do this in the community that Maccabi's offered to people. And that, it's something that kids remember forever.
Absolutely.
And, I know we are limited on time, but I think the one final thing I want to ask you is like you can summarize it, but the most memorable story that sticks out to you or in your mind, the coolest, because we're all, again, it goes back to the cool factor, the coolest point in your life where it kind of hits you like, this is like, wow, I've really not necessarily made it, but I've really shown myself like I've done this.
Well, back in the day when going to the NCAA tournament as an official, you had to be the number one ranked official in the conference. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
You're talking about 15, in those days, 15, 20, 25 of the top flight guys are in the conference. And it's different now. But in those days, the year that I finally was ranked by my supervisor as the number one official in the Missouri Valley Conference, and I got that Federal Express, you get a FedEx on a Monday, and that's at your door and it says you're going. That was big.
That's awesome.
Isn't that unbelievable?
That was big.
That's awesome.
And, and just, I would say just any young kid as an athlete or if you want to become an official or whatever, you have to work at it. And then you have to have some luck along the way. There's always somebody who can help you. And you never know who that person is.
Yeah.
So try to treat people the right way also. Treat people with respect. Because, you want to be a wise guy to somebody. Well, that's fine. But that guy that you were just a wise guy to might be the guy who's thinking about hiring you, not going to anymore.
Yeah. I think that's honestly a great way to finish and wrap up is just leaving it with the respect factor. And I will say, because Bruce Pearl, of course, was just on the show, and that is, I'll tell the listeners, that is literally something that he said about Ron when he walked in that room. He was like, there wasn't a guy in the game that I respected more than when I saw that you were reffing.
I have a lot of respect for Bruce, and Bruce Pearl's story from years and years ago that we didn't really talk about it much there, and it wasn't a place to talk about it, but he went through some hard times.
Yeah.
When he was at Iowa, and they had that incident with Illinois, and the player was turned in, and Bruce did the right thing. He did the right thing when he talked about that illegal recruiting that was going on and everything else. But you know how people are.
Sure.
But look what he did.
Yeah.
Fought his way back.
Yeah.
Division II, small college, Division I, and then what?
Yeah.
Tennessee and Auburn. Doesn't get any better than that.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
And let me say one last thing.
Come on.
This is about her.
Yeah.
What she's doing with the Maccabi games, and particularly last year, blew me away, that she could have had not 1 week, but 2 weeks consecutively going from one city to the next city.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you one thing. You can look me right in the eye. I can tell you, and I'm not going to lie to you, there's no way this guy could have done that. Yeah. Not even close.
Yeah. Trust me.
We have fun.
I get through a week of it, and I don't know that two is never on the table. Yeah. Well,
it's a lot, but it's worth it.
You guys are both, again, we could go on forever and ever, but I think it's, you're an incredible person to be able to represent, I think, St. Louis sports and what we have here and the people that have come from St. Louis and, the stories that you have and the God, the memories that you know everything.
I know,
Like
it's
this guy is
unbelievable.
not. If you have a question not
Sit
about
there.
just basketball, I'm sure he knows
Yeah.
the answer. It's unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you what I want to do. Since you're such a big sports fan, after the Maccabi games and everything's over, I want to take you to the 1-2-3 Club on a Monday, and it's all sports guys. And all they do is talk about sports. And I'll just tell you real quick some of the guys who are in that club. Bobby Costas, and I could go on Costas and Jackie Smith, and Jim Hannafin was a member.
Yeah.
And you come there and you'll see all the.
That's
guys.
where we're gonna go.
I'm gonna take you. You'll be my guest, and all they do is talk about sports. And DeWitt's a member.
Yeah.
The young DeWitt who just and he's a humble guy.
Hey, sports, music, and food bring people together.
It does.
That's why we do.
And you know
this.
what? All of his all of the boys at least.
Well, that's
they
interesting. Okay, we don't have to be on, but
It's so it's
all
like
my
Skip,
daughters,
they're-
well, the youngest one's not married, but all my daughters, all their boys have been involved in athletes.
Yeah.
And athletics. I mean, big. Jennifer's two boys played football.
And the
at Parkway
stats and
Central.
all of it,
Right,
like him. It's unbelievable.
They all
Just how they
played,
remember.
her son was a terrific basketball player
Yep.
at Parkway West, and Jake, he played at Clayton, and this guy here, he thinks he's a hockey player.
Leo catching strays. Over there.
Leo.
He's good. He loves to watch.
My
But
God.
yeah.
Well, no, I appreciate you guys.
for having
Seriously,
us.
this is awesome. And
you.
plug your podcast one time for me. What's your podcast? One more time.
My podcast?
Yeah.
It's the Then and Now.
Then and now.
Yeah.
Then
I
and
can't
Now.
imagine the stories that you hear on there. Check it out. We appreciate you both. You're amazing. You're amazing. Thanks for
So
making
are
this
you.
happen.
Thank you.